Hafide and welcome to Weekend Edition. I'm Crystal Paco, so glad you could join us. Having the capability to alert the entire island, Guam Homeland Security is going village to village trying to determine where to put up new sirens. KUAM's Nick Delgado has the latest.
It's used to do more than just warn the Guam community of a tsunami heading our way. More of these all-hazards alert warning sirens will be popping up in the next fiscal year. Guam Homeland Security spokesperson Jenna Blas.
Again, this is a very lengthy process. It was a lengthy process to get the initial 15 up. So we do anticipate it taking some time, but we're working very closely with our federal partners on this.
The island currently has 15 of these sirens. The plan is to get 31 new units up and running.
There's already been multi-agency coordination to do site assessments for different locations across the island for where these can be placed.
Blas says their federal counterparts understand the need to expand the existing system. They are working together to speed up the process to secure the funding needed. Initially, Homeland was to use a $2 million grant that was to be given in phases over the next 5 years. However, the latest threats out of North Korea has piqued interest to get the additional sirens much sooner.
Any types of threats coming from any foreign nations, we want to be able to utilize those sirens for any type of alerts.
Guam Homeland is also beefing up its testing of the sirens. It was once tested quarterly, and the units in place will now be tested every first Tuesday of each month. Blas has this message for those concerned that they did not hear the sirens tested just this past week.
We received a lot of feedback about people that did hear it across the island and those that didn't. And there are so many different factors that come into play, whether you're indoors, whether there's a lot of traffic noise, whether there are impending structures or buildings. And again, we just recognize these sirens as just one form of communication.
A form of communication among others that keeps everyone in the territory in the know.
It's our intention to be able to cover the whole island.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, Guahusi, Nick Delgado.
The Republican majority in Congress is working hard to pass the first major tax reform legislation in decades by the end of the year. But on Guam, it appears leaders are not any closer to delinking from the federal system despite years of opportunity. Nestor Laconta reports.
The issue of delinking from the U.S. tax code and developing one for ourselves resurfaced recently in a forum sponsored by a University of Guam Masters of Public Administration class. The panel was made up of 4 members who have served on tax code commissions over the years. Their consensus: delinking is complicated. Former Governor Carl Gutierrez and his former Revenue Tax Director Joey Duenas.
Delinking is a very difficult thing to get anybody to agree. Businessmen are not going to do 2 filings, believe me. They love the single filing right now, and that was our biggest challenge, getting past them.
One of the hardest parts, I think, with regards to delinking is the fact that you have so many competing interests.
Former Senator George Bomba says it's a delicate balancing act to determine what level of taxation is needed that doesn't overburden the public but can still support necessary public services.
Government still needs financial resources, education, public safety, public health. They don't generate revenues.
The most recent Tax Commission member, Senator Michael San Nicolas, explains what some local economists and tax experts favor: sever and adopt. Guam would delink from the U.S. code, but keep everything in place.
And then from there, bring in all the experts and go line by line through the code and say, if we change this or if we change that, what would the impact be? And then pursue those changes very, very carefully and piece by piece.
And if Guam does delink, the law requires we have a 5-year revenue-neutral period to further ensure a smooth transition. But timing is also important, say the panelists, because any change in the taxation system impacts the even bigger picture.
If we do too much too soon in our tax code and it goes wrong, it's going to undermine a lot of confidence of the public with respect to any kind of self-determination efforts going forward.
And that raises the question, self-determination first or a new taxation system? For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Laconto.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, and while it's easy to get wrapped up in the hustle and bustle of the season, we sit down with the Guam Fire Department for some quick tips to keep our homes and most especially our families safe. You've made a list and checked it twice, and while you've ruled out who's been naughty and who's been nice, have you taken any time to think about safety this holiday season?
Because of the holidays, we want everyone to be safe.
Starting with the Christmas tree. Vincent Leon Guerrero is a fire captain with the Guam Fire Department. Here's what to look for.
You don't want to get a tree that's the leaves are already falling down, and they're drying out. And then when you get them, make sure you get them fresh cut and make sure you put the water in them and maintain the water.
Then the trimmings.
A lot of the times we're using old lights from last year, so it's a good time to re-inspect them, make sure the bulbs are not cracked.
Having sat in storage for the past year, it may be time to buy new ones. Don't forget, Leon Guerrero says, to read the labels.
Make sure when you're buying lighting, depending where you're going to put them, if it's indoor or outdoor, make sure they're rated for either outdoor use or indoor use. If you want to put more than one light on that circuit, sometimes if you read the package, it'll tell you how many lights are required to be added to those lights. If they're for outdoor, make sure even the extension cord that you're using, we recommend, one per light, but make sure it's GFCI protected.
That's short for ground fault circuit interrupter.
If any water or moisture that it detects, it's going to trip that before there's any hazard of shock.
But what's the most common mistake from homeowners this holiday season?
They leave their lights on all the time. They forget to turn them off. Also, when you're putting your lights out, make sure that you're not stapling it to the wall.
The same applies for candles. Never leave them unattended or near flammables.
Keep it away from anything that may cause a fire. And make sure it doesn't fall. Put it on a table that's secure.
And while you sit and admire the tree and trimmings, GFD says it's also a great time to check your smoke detector.
Because of the holidays and the extra hazard that the lights and the trees present, it's a good time to check on your smoke detectors and make sure that they're working.
Also, never block an exit with the tree or decor. Now that you've refreshed yourself on some helpful holiday safety tips, it's time to celebrate.
So on behalf of the Guam Fire Department, we'd like to wish the people of Guam a warm and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Just in time for the holidays, new companies premiered their products at GPO last week. Students from local high schools set up shop at their last Junior Achievements Trade Fair for the year. Carmen Terlahi reports.
These students mean business. Taka Yoshimori, a student at Simon Sanchez High School and president of Fulfill, says his company decided to fill a need for foster children on Guam.
Christmas season is coming up and is the season of giving. Really hope that we can get as many supporters to purchase a fill-of case for the foster children.
Handmade and repurposed from old pillowcases, Fulfill was just one of many student-run junior achievement companies. With the support of JA Guam and local businesses, high school students made their ideas come to life. Jason, a student at JFK and president of Masquerade, says it's a learning process.
We actually learned how to deal with life struggles and how to open up a bank account and how to actually start a company.
For students like Taka and Jason, JA has set up the business plan for their future.
Junior Achievement is great. I recommend it to anyone that is really interested in business. Hopefully open up a business with this handsome fellow right here. His name is TJ Ngitong, and we're part of a small singing group, and we just like to open up a business with our music.
With one final presentation in January, the winner of this year's JA competition will represent Guam in Beijing, China. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Carmen Victoria Terlahi.
Don't let your child go bored this Christmas break. Enroll them in Guam Community College's STEEP program, short for Sustainable Technologies and Environmental Education Program. Middle school students will get a hands-on experience on topics including renewable energy, human health, gardening, and even culinary arts. The program will run from December 27th through January 5th, and is free for students registered in GCC's Reach for College program and $100 for all those not registered in that program. Registration ends December 15. For more information, log on to guamcc.edu or call Kiko Palacios at 735-5501. And now for this month's Good Neighbors segment, featuring a Good Samaritan in our community and highlighting their everyday acts of selflessness. This month, we show a woman who devotes all her free time to volunteering.
The Good Neighbor, presented by Title Guarantee, Guam's first, oldest, and most experienced title and escrow company.
For Julie Kitachai, the Jotnia Telefofo Senior Center is her home away from home. It has been for the past 4 years.
It's like a full-time job. I come here every day.
Much of her work is to supplement what full-time staff at the center are prohibited from doing due to federal regulations. That includes calling the numbers for the seniors' favorite pastime, bingo.
It's my exercise. I come here every day and I assist the seniors. I come in and clean, prep the seniors. When they come in, we start playing bingo. Once lunchtime comes, they eat their lunch. After lunch, they go again into bingo. Afterwards, I stay back and I clean the center and then shut down for the next day.
She first started volunteering because of her mom, who frequents the senior center. She quickly found herself with an extended family of manumku.
I'm here to assist my mom, but they're all my mom's here and my dad's.
A big part of her job is simply to socialize.
They just want to talk to someone, especially in the language. It's really hard, and of me, I want to grow up with my mom speaks to me in Chamorro. I respond back in English. Now I can sit down and fluently, have a conversation with the Manumcos because of everything I've learned. I've learned a lot from these Manumcos here, and I teach my kids. I try to make them laugh, joke around, make them enjoy their stay while they're here. They go back home, they ask their families. There are some people, they don't have family. And I've countered that with, Catholic social service. So sometimes it's just communicating with them.
Her proficiency in the language is especially helpful when presenters come to the center or when the Manumku have to fill out paperwork. Her work also extends outside of the center. Julie often follows the seniors on their field trips.
I come here and I open the center. We receive the seniors here. Then I ride the bus with them, or I take my car and I follow the bus there, and then I receive the seniors there.
As a recipient of this month's Good Neighbor Award, Title Guarantee will donate $100 to a charity of her choice. Her pick?
The Donny Tanafofo Senior Center is one of a non-profit organization under the Mayor's Council and Donny Mayor's Office. So the seniors, they do their own fundraisers here, and it's what spruces up their center. Provides their snacks for them, does the minor repairs. So I would like to donate it to the seniors because they deserve it.
The Good Neighbor, presented by Title Guarantee, Guam's first, oldest, and most experienced title and escrow company.
Visit the KUAM News website or app and let us know who is deserving of this award and why. A winner will be selected every month. Additionally, Title Guarantee will also reward the monthly Good Neighbor winner with a cash prize to go towards a local charity of their choice. Stay tuned. Next on Weekend Edition, we'll rehash some of the big stories of the past weekend. Still to come, the Guam Crime Stoppers Report. Keep it here.
Connect with KUAM News. Find us on your favorite social media platform. Follow us and stay in the know with Guam's news leader.
We value relationships because when we commit,
I love you guys until you're 80, until you're 90, until you're 100, forever.
We are in it for the long run, so you can enjoy the moments that matter. Because when we commit to relationships, we never stop caring. Calvo's Select Care, health care that is always there for you.
How does tourism work for Guam? Hafaday! Hafaday! Tourism tax dollars fund improvements around our island. Tourism helps maintain our community centers and public parks. Tourism dollars are invested where it counts, promoting village shops and locally made products. Tourism keeps the spirit of our past alive through restoration of historical sites. Tourism supports environmental efforts that protect our natural resources. Tourism improves our quality of life. It helps make Guam a better place to live, work, and visit. Tourism works for Guam.
When you know what you want and you want it great, look no further than Ruby Tuesday's new Steakhouse Sensations menu. Choose from a 20-ounce dry aged prime bone-in ribeye or an 8-ounce filet mignon tenderloin. Either steak seared to your preference and served with 2 specialty sides like Denancy mashed potatoes, grilled asparagus, or roasted Brussels sprouts. Enjoy surf and turf and add a succulent lobster tail or tender grilled salmon fillet to complete your meal. This plus a whole lot more. It's Steakhouse Sensations for a limited time and only at Ruby Tuesday, Guam.
Hoffa Day and welcome back to Weekend Edition. This is Rehash, where we recap the big stories of the past week. And I found out that we have a big basketball fan at the desk here. Ness?
Yeah, one of the big stories of the week, of course, is the visit of Dennis Rodman, former NBA All-Star with the Bulls and the Pistons and a couple of other teams, and also a reality star. He was on The Apprentice. And just an overall kind of unusual guy, but he came to Guam, and we met with him at the Hilton. He had a bit of a news conference, and of course he is a good friend of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. So a lot of the questions during the news conference dealt with his relationship with Kim, and also with President Trump, who he was part of that The Apprentice show. So he got a little emotional at one point. We asked him about what he would say if he was in a room with President Trump and Kim Jong-un to kind of mediate the dispute. Of course, Kim has threatened Guam with a missile attack, and he said he would actually give up his life to, kind of mediate that dispute. And there was at one point where he kind of, paused to gather himself so he could respond, and then we just followed up and said, why are you so emotional? And he couldn't really explain. He just said, it just sucks. It really sucks. That was his response. So, yeah, we got a really good interview.
And Nestor's totally fangirling. Okay, so Carmen, I understand Carmen had to go on a really unique flight via United Airlines.
It was a lot of fun. So I got to go to the North Pole on the United Fantasy flight, and that was just a ton of fun. We had 30 kids from DOE's special education program, the SPED program. I don't know if any of you have heard of that. And so a lot of the United workers were dressed up. They had penguins. And my favorite moment was meeting a little boy who told us what he wishes for Christmas. And he says, I wish for a miracle for my family. And I thought that was so in the spirit of Christmas and in the spirit of giving, and I thought that was such a wise answer from such a young age, and they had so much fun. I mean, I really thought I was at the North Pole, so it was a lot of fun.
Again, it's a flight powered by Christmas magic, and Carmen actually has a boarding pass that says the North Pole.
Yep.
And myself, I hung out at the church this week. I got to meet up with some of our island's faithful. Friday is a designated holiday, a Gulf Guam holiday, and for good reason, because thousands of island residents they celebrate Santa Maria Kamlan, and she is our island's patron saint. And so I got to speak with 3 women who really stood out to me at the church, and I got to talk to them. They were choking up. They were sharing their experiences about why we celebrate the Blessed Mother, and a lot of them, they quoted, experiences in their life where they prayed to the Blessed Mother and the Blessed Mother answered their prayers. But a lot of them also, they quoted that the Blessed Mother keeps us safe from typhoons. Mm-hmm. So Friday also marks the 15th anniversary of Typhoon Pongsonghua. So, knock on wood and pray to the Blessed Mother that we don't get hit by another devastating typhoon. So, Asha.
So basically for social, we recapped everything that you guys talked about, all of the main stories, Dennis Rodman, all of that good stuff. We have that on our social media platforms right now, so you can check out the stories on there if you want to. Something that I wanted to talk about was the 15th year anniversary of Pongsonghua. That was one of Guam's worst typhoons, and so we made a little mini doc for people to see with some fun facts, so I think you guys should check that out on our Instagram page.
And no offense, but I think the 3 of us were babies.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
I didn't go through Pongsonghua.
So I don't really remember much.
I remember though.
Okay, so share what you have to say about Typhoon Pongsonghua. Where were you? We want to know. It's on our Instagram, on all our social media. If you want to catch up on any of these stories that we're talking about, or if you missed the news, you can again check it out on our KUAM social media platforms. If you have any news tips for us, you can email us. It's simple. Email us at reporters@kuam.com.
2017 is rapidly coming to an end, and the big finish is on now. At Cars Plus in Mighty, get big year-end savings on a big selection of new 2017 Ram trucks, Jeep Wranglers, Dodge Challengers, and all Fiat models. Plus, buy from Cars Plus today and receive a Cars Plus value card where you get 21 cents off per gallon at all Shell stations. Big savings and 21 cents off per gallon with a Cars Plus value card when you buy during a big finish at Cars Plus in Mighty. Cars Plus, driven by you.
For 20 years, Matson has been an important part of our everyday lives. Bringing in the cars we drive, the food we eat, and the materials that helped build our homes. From caring for our land through the Adahi Itanu program to generously supporting our local charities, Matson has contributed to the preservation and growth of our island. On behalf of those you've served throughout your 20 years on Guam, Tita Smaasi Matson.
If you get nervous about having dental treatment, you're not alone. An estimated 35 million adults experience anxiety or nervousness at the simple thought of visiting the dentist. As your dentist, I strive to make your visit as painless or pain-free as possible. And I frequently tell my patients that in the 21st century, if we can give you medicines to put your tooth to sleep or medicines to take an infection or toothache away, we can surely give you something to help relax you and take all fear away. No one ought to sit in a dental chair thinking of bad childhood memories or fearing injections. If you're a dental coward, but you really do want your teeth fixed, don't wait until the pain is killing you. Come in, tell us your fears, and set up an appointment. We have convinced many that dental treatment doesn't need to be scary anymore. For your helpful dental minute, I'm Dr. Kenny Bourgeois of Paradise Smiles. You shall never know all the good a simple smile can do.
Your friends and mine, everybody at the Guam Police Department, are coming up with different programs and patrols to make sure that drunk drivers are kept off island streets, with everybody going to holiday parties, office festivities, and most importantly, holiday shopping and taking time for friends and family. Sergeant Paul Tapau is here. Sarge, happy holidays.
Hey, happy day. Merry Christmas. Thank you for having me.
All right, this is a very delicate time for you and yours over at GPD. Do you guys expand the amount of patrols that you guys are doing, or do you guys add shifts? Or?
Yeah, when the holiday season rolls into effect, we actually implement a holiday plan to address the certain issues such as the safety, the robbery suppression task force, but more importantly, our DUI suppression team. Our highway patrol officers are working a 24-hour shift operations, and they are also working in conjunction with other law enforcement officers and making sure that the roads are safe this holiday season. And this is the time when people are celebrating. So as a reminder, our officers are out there, and it is against the law to drink and drive, and regardless of how you feel that you're okay, if you are impaired, you are going to face the consequences.
Okay, I want to talk about that for a second, because we always tell people, like you shouldn't drink and drive, everything like that. People still continue to go to parties. Sometimes they may act a little bit irresponsibly. But what are the penalties if people are caught to be under the influence?
If you are caught to be under the influence of the per se law of 0.08, and as a former highway officer, you will actually spend 2 days in jail. It's a mandatory confinement policy, and then the fees associated with that, with the possible of revocation of your driver's license, can be at stake, and it really does take its effect. And this is just the part when you get pulled over and get arrested. But the more drastic picture is when you have consumed alcohol and you get behind the wheel and you're thinking you're fine and you cause a crash that can turn fatal. You're going to have to pay a pretty price for that. And it's not just the court fees and the jail time. It's the life that you selfishly took because you made that choice to drink and drive. Mm-hmm. And we've seen it all the time as crash investigators, the fatalities associated with drunk driving, and it could have been easily prevented had you made the choice not to drink and drive. Mm-hmm.
Well, there's something called the Tri-Agency, and I know it's GPD and 2 other groups are now within GovGuam. Tell me a little bit about that and how you guys are trying to deter drunk and driving.
So it's not just drunken driving in the park because, we have our highway patrol officers who also have Port Authority and Airport, but we're, the tri-agency effect is it combines with the efforts with Department of Agriculture's conservation officers and Department of Parks and Recs law enforcement side, the park rangers and everything. And it's geared towards addressing drunken behavior associated with just different things such as people out drinking in the parks, different things that happen criminally that is associated with alcohol. So the partnership and the merger with this, it's a combination of law enforcement agency coming together for a greater good, which is addressing issues with alcohol-related events and stuff.
All right, well, as we always do each and every week, why don't you segue us into our crime of the week?
Okay, this week is a robbery that occurred out here on Route 16 by the American Bakery side, right across the Micronesia Mall.
All right, here's what you can do to help the good folks up in Delhi.
On Sunday, November 26, at around 5:20 in the morning, officers assigned to the Dedito Precinct Command entertained a robbery complaint that occurred at the Winter Game Room on Route 16 Army Drive in Harmon. Now, according to the police report, two male individuals with shirts wrapped around their heads entered the game room and rushed towards the cashier's cage. One of the male suspects, wearing a white t-shirt, pulled out a black handgun, pointed the gun at the cashier, and demanded money. The second suspect, wearing a dark shirt, broke the cashier's cage window and jumped into the cashier's cage, where he was able to take the game room's cash box. Both suspects were seen on foot running towards the rear side of the building, towards the vacant parking lot by Wendy's. The two suspects were described as suspect number 1, male, possibly Chukis, heavy set with dark complexion, and was last seen wearing a white t-shirt. Suspect number 2 was also described as possibly Chukis, with a medium build, dark complexion, and was last seen wearing a dark t-shirt. Now, the Guam Crime Stoppers and the Guam Police Department need your help in reference to this case. If anyone has any information about this crime or any other crime, you can call our 24-hour hotline at 477-HELP, that's 4357, or submit a tip online at guam.crimestoppersweb.com. All calls will remain completely confidential, and a cash reward of up to $1,000 could be paid if the information provided leads to an arrest and a grand jury indictment. Your call does make a difference.
Sarge, thank you. As always, happy holidays to you and your friends.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, too.
Be safe, Guam.
And please continue to watch, everybody. We are back right after this.
Gifts crafted by human hands move us the most, especially those infused with the passion of the people who create them. This holiday, treat yourself to a Mazda, crafted just for you. Celebrate the season with a test drive today. Mazda. Driving matters.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
2017 is rapidly coming to an end, and the big finish is on now. At Cars Plus in Mighty, get big year-end savings on a big selection of new 2017 Ram trucks, Jeep Wranglers, Dodge Challengers, and all Fiat models. Plus, buy from Cars Plus today and receive a Cars Plus value card, where you get 21 cents off per gallon at all Shell stations. Big savings and 21 cents off per gallon with a Cars Plus value card when you buy during a big finish at Cars Plus in Mighty. Cars Plus, driven by you.
This holiday season, we remind you to be kind, have fun, cherish those things in people you hold close to heart, and give back. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from all of us at Pacific Telestations.
And before we close out the news tonight, here's our latest round of birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
Happy birthday to you, Owen Matthews Grant Pajela. Also, happy birthday to you, Kamlin Lazama, turning 15, love the family. And happy birthday to Ella, turning 8. To our powerhouse cheerleader with lots of love from Mommy, Daddy, brothers Kai, Marcus, and newest baby brother, Matthias. Great-grandma Lulang and the family. Go Huskies!
Remember, you can be part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club by registering online on KUAM.com. Please make sure to include with your photo your name and birthday. And that's all the time we have from all of us here at Guam's News Network. Thanks for watching and have a safe weekend.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E Life in Motion.
the stations of KUAM, wishing you and yours a very happy holiday.
Howfa Day. I'm Peter Duenas, corporate chef and owner of Mezcla